Hello everyone, hoping we're live. So let me make this page a bit bigger. Okay, so hello if you are watching. I'm just moving my laptop. Sorry, there we go. Okay, so I got here on time today. So this week I'm going to show you another one of my cards from this class of the month, and it's a registration that closes on November the 7th, so we've only got until Friday for you to book a place and for me to get everything prepped, of course. Hi Jane, I thought it was you. I saw somebody was watching. Nice to see you. And this is the class. It's $20 or free with any $30 order, and it's these 4 cards. And last week I showed you the cards. I'll show you them again because we actually recreated one of them last week. So it's these 4. Oops, let me move them up a bit so I don't think you can see all of it. There we go. And last week we recreated this card, and I used different colours and little different piece of the designer series paper. And this week I've chosen to recreate this card. It's a really easy layout. It's a layout that I've done before and that you've seen me do before. I know, Jane, I've really missed crafting, and now that I can sit at a table with my leg bent for long enough, then I missed it just so much, so much. So let me show you the paper in case you didn't see it last week. It's this Christmas Tags and More with designer series paper, and it has like little die cuts. And I'm using this really easy set of sentiments that are adhesive, or you can put dimensionals on the back. So easy. Oh, this bauble card, Jane. This is one of the designer series papers. I just cut it down to fit, to make this little fold. So it's a really simple card, and the paper did all the work. I didn't do any stamping. Literally, I just cut the paper and made the card. So let me show you where it is in the catalogue. I know it's page 15. So it's this paper. So the paper with the baubles on has this dotty crumb cake paper, which I still have that. That's that paper at the side of it. And then the other piece, oh, it's like those little diamonds. Let me just find that. It's that one. So the paper's a tiny bit wider than that, and then it has sort of this piece at the side. And this is what was on the back, I think. Is that what was on the back? I think so. So it's like that, and then on the back is this one, and I can't remember what else. But yeah, it's a really pretty paper, and it's so easy to make cards with. So let me just pop those back in there. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, me too. And really, it's such nice paper. We should let it do all the work sometimes. We shouldn't have to stamp and colour and do all the stuff. So this is the card in the class, but I'm going to use a different image here. And I've got all the pieces ready. So I'm going to put it on here. Last week, somebody let me know that they couldn't read my writing when it was on the Facebook page or the YouTube page. So I've made the writing a bit bigger this time, and this is what we're going to need. Maybe I should start putting this up the day before so that you can craft along with me. Okay, and there. So my base, I'm using soft seafoam, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I need a garden green card layer, which is 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. 2 pieces of basic white, 4.5 by 3 1/4. Some twine or ribbon on the card that I showed you, that I've lost already, here we go, I used the gold and white ribbon, but this time I'm using twine. You need a sentiment. I got one from the pack, but if you don't have that pack, you could stamp something and put it on a label. And some die cuts. And I've got these little holly leaves as my die cuts. And 2 little banners I'm using. But you just use whatever you want to. And then I've got my DSP. I've got a piece for inside. I've got 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 3 inch, and that's these 2 pieces. And then I've got a piece that's 2 by 3. Now, the piece I used comes off the 6 by 6 pad, and it has all different images on. And so it'll have the Christmas trees, 2 other patterns, the, what do you call these, candy canes. And so all I did was I just chopped down, and these automatically are 2 by 3. So thanks, Jane. Okay, so I'm going to pop those all at one side, and I hope you had time just to take a screenshot if you can't read my writing normally and you need it a bit bigger. So okay, now I have made some changes to this card. The card in the class, it doesn't have an insert, but for the one we're making today, I'm going to put an insert in. And I'm not using this paper, and I might not even make it in that pattern. So I'm going to make it slightly differently, because once you've got a good pattern or layout, you can make it just how you like. Right, let me move all these little bits. What are you busy crafting on, Jane? So you need to join my other class that I've just started doing on Zoom. That's this craft and chat. It's cancelled for next week because I'm actually not going to be at home. But we just have a Zoom drop-in, and whatever you're crafting and making, then you just make it along with us. There's, you know, some people might stay 10 minutes, some people might stay an hour, but whatever you're working on. So one of the days I didn't even do any stamping. I was sat knitting a baby bonnet. So any craft you want. Okay, so my green card layer and my base. Okay, let's put some of these out of the way. So the first things we need are going to be the green layer, the white layer that fits just inside it, and then our designer series paper. And I've cut my 2 by 3 as the holly. One of my 1 by 3s, it's really the holly, and I'm going to use the gingham check on the back. And then the other 1 by 3, it's got these little diamonds or the crumb cake dots. I'm going to use the little diamonds. Oh, nice. Happy birthday to your daughter. Okay, so on my original card, I leave it there so you can see. On my original card, I had this tree image. And as I said, you could use something like the candy cane image if you don't want to use the tree. But I'm just going to use 3 pieces of designer series paper, because it's not often that I have a piece of 2 by 3 paper with an image already on it. So I want to show you how to make the same card with just designs of DSP. And the layout that I've got is this. But actually, I don't want that layout. I'm just going to turn it round, I think. I might start with that one on the left, and then this one, and then the holly. No, I'm going to go that way. Okay, so I'm going to do my lighter pattern on the left and my busier pattern or my image pattern on this right hand side. So I'm going to start with that left hand side piece and just glue it in. Oh. You don't need an awful lot of glue. I like to do the left and the right first and then sort of put the piece into the middle, because that way I know, I can fit it all in. If I start and I put this piece here next and then put this piece on and I've got too big a gap, then I can't always change everything. Whereas if I do the edges first, you can get away with it a little bit more if you're not quite straight. So I'm just making the gap at the top and the bottom the same, and on the left. Okay, so I know that's not straight. Let me just turn it around a little bit. Oops, before it dries. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop that in. Yeah, that will work. You see it's got quite a big gap between, whereas this one I had a little bit more room on the left and the right and made the gaps in the middle a bit smaller. So it just depends on the day how you sort of add it in, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so mine is going to go this way. I'm going to glue it onto my garden green. And this has only got a small border around it. It's not the 1/4 inch border, it's just a smaller border. Okay, and then before I attach it to the main card, I'm going to put my twine round. Now I've got, let's see, how long is that? And it's about 14 inches. And I'm hoping that it's long enough for this to go all the way across and tie a bow. Oh yeah, it is. I'm going to hold that with my tweezers. See if I can hold on to it. Oops. Or I might even put a glue dot down. Let me just see. I'm just deciding which side I'm going to put my label on. I think I might just still put it in the middle. So. I'm not brilliant at tying bows the right way around. I always seem to have to tie them upside down. But it works for me. And if it doesn't work, pop a glue dot down or, tie it first. You can always tie your twine in a bow and then cut it at the back. I don't particularly like that bow, so I'll show you what I mean. Oh, I tied a knot in it. Let's get rid of that. Let's just find another piece. That's quicker today. So I know what some people will do is they'll tie a knot like this and a bow. Let's pop that through there. Okay. So they'll do this. And then they'll cut here. So if I just work out where I can cut. So they'll put it on like this. That's going to be the right way around. So they'll put it on like this. And then they'll just tape it at the back. So that's what we'll do. Let's find some tape. And that way, if it's a bit too fiddly for your fingers, just makes it a bit easier. Just make sure that's sort of straight. There we go. Okay. Now my bow is still upside down because that's how I tie bows. Always upside down. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know how. I'm just going to move that along a little bit. No, we'll just leave it like that. There we go. Okay. And then I can put it onto the base and I can do all the extra decorating once it's on the base. So I've got my base here. And you could pop that on with dimensionals to make it, stand off a little bit, or you could glue it flat. On this one, I glued it flat. But you could certainly put it on with dimensionals just to make it pop out. Let's do that. I'm not going to be sending this by mail. If it goes by mail, I tend to only have one layer popped up otherwise it doesn't always fit in the mail selector and I end up having to pay extra on it. Take these backings off. Oh, I left that one on. There we go. Check. Sometimes I'll put a little dot on my dimensionals and it just shows me if I've taken the backing off. If I use a marker pen or something. Okay. Right. So I've got my little sentiment here and it is adhesive. If you take this adhesive off the back, you can glue things straight down, or if you want to have it popped up, you can still take the adhesive off the back and you can use your embossing buddy to make this less sticky, or you can even just put your dimensionals straight onto here. I'll take the adhesive off just to show you what I mean about using the embossing buddy. If you've got one of these, are they filled with corn flour or something? I can't remember. And just tap over the back of it. They're what we use when you do heat embossing. Now it's not sticky at all. It won't stick to anything. So let's move that over there. And I think I'm going to put my sentiment here. I'm going to put dimensionals at the top and the bottom. So the easiest way for me to do that is to put them already on here. And that way I know I've got a dimensional at the top and the bottom. And then I often just put an extra one over the top of the string or the ribbon or whatever you've got on there. That way I know it'll fit. You can't see any of the dimensionals and it works just perfectly. So that's going to go like that. But before I stick that all the way down, I want to put one of these little banners on. So maybe I should have done that beforehand, but I wanted it to be raised up a little bit. So I think I'm going to do it just like this. Let me see which one I'm going to use. If I'd used the dotted side of the paper, I might use that one, but I think I'm going to use this one instead. Let me just put that out there. I want it to go under that little bow. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of blue here to hold the rest of my label on, like this. Put my ribbon over the top, and my twine over the top, there we go. And then I've got just a couple of the little die cuts, and there's lots of them to choose from. There are, whoops, all those fell out. There are 2 sheets of 2 designs. So, yeah, I know what you mean, Jane. So I've got baubles, cardinals. Oh, another one of those trees. That might have looked nice. If I didn't have any of the images left, I could have used this on one of my pieces of plain designer series paper there. So there's lots of leaves, presents. This would be pretty with one of the circle sentiments, one of the smaller ones. So candy canes, more baubles, stockings, tons of things. Oh, the flowers are pretty, very pretty. Okay, so then these I'm going to just have underneath my label. I'm not sure how they're going to fit yet. That one's quite big. Let's see. I like this little one. I might pop one on the top here and one underneath. Let me see if I can find another one to go with this. That one just seems a little bit too big. I've got some with the like mistletoe. Let's see what else there is. Ooh, This one's quite nice, this long one. And there's another one of those little holly leaves. So let's pop those out of the way and have a look. I like it just on the top there. What is it like with two? What do you think? A small one and a mistletoe? Or a small one and a long one? What do you think works? I think they're all pretty. But what do you fancy? Any requests, Jane? I don't want to put it at the bottom, but I do like them over in this top left a bit. If I could put one down and one higher up. Small and long. Long at the back and small on the top, or both underneath. I like that it sort of matches this paper. So let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Just pop a little bit of glue. I like it sort of going off the card a little bit as well. Top left for sure and long at the back. Okay, so let's put, oh. So long at the back and the small one top left. Or let's see with that long one there and the small one over. Oh, it's too many things to decide now, isn't there? I'm going to go with this long one at the back and this smaller one. I'm just going to put it on a little dimensional at the back so that it just goes over the top of this. Let's find a small dimensional. Too many choices. There we go. And pop those away for another day. And then I'm going to put some more on the inside. So here's that second piece of basic white that we had. I'm just going to put this inside. But actually it might be nice just on a little piece of garden green as well. Let me just get some card. Thank you, Jane. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going to cut another garden green layer. So let's see what that was. That was this one. That was 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. So I'm going to cut another one. It'd be nice to have it matching on the inside. Let's take that piece out and trim it down. So I need it 4 5/8. I'll keep these little bits just in case I want to die cut leaves or anything. This garden green is a really nice green for foliage. So again, that will have that tiny little border, just like the front. And then I had a longer piece of patterned paper out that I was going to use, but now that I've got that green border as well, I might use one of these designs. So let's go back to that paper, see where I hid it all. So I've got that one and then the gingham one. But I don't know that I've got a long enough piece of the gingham. I think they're all cut still quite short. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, that seems a bit pale, that one, doesn't it? What else have we got in here? What's on the back of this one? Let's have a little look at that. That might be okay if I take the bottom because it's got the red on as well. So let's see what that was. Where's my DSP one? I think it was this. I had a piece 3/4 of an inch by 4.5, but I'd need to make it 4 and 5/8. No, 4.5. So let's have a look. See what a 3/4 inch piece would be like. See how much green we would get. Oh, let me do it that way. And let's cut it down to, there's not a lot of green on there. Let's have a look. I cut it to 4 and 5/8. No, 4.5 Diane. Hi Janet, nice to see you. I'm only doing a really quick card today, but it's so nice to see you. I'm recreating this card. That's from my November the 20th class, and I didn't have many more of these images. I didn't have any of the tree images. I only had the candy cane image. So I decided I would go just with all of the designer series paper and use some of the little die cuts instead. So we're having a look at that, but we might, if we have time, might just try and make another one as well. Right, let's have a look at this. Pop that on the inside. What time is it? Oh, it's not even 1/2 past. There we go. And we could put a little die cut in. We could put one of the matching little leaves. Let's just put this on the inside so it matches the front. There we go. Okay. And we've got just enough time to make another one, but let's use that candy cane one. So you can see where I've hidden all the pieces on the floor. They're not very well hidden, they're just dropped on the floor. But I did get other little bases ready in case I needed them. There they are. I only have the bases cut and the layers cut. I don't have anything else cut. So, and for this one I've got the card going the same way as the first one, whereas this one I just changed it round to have this way, but really quick. So I'm going to trim down this little piece because as I've cut it, I've got a tiny little strip of the designer series paper that it backs onto. And let's just take that tiddly widdly piece off. Oh, and that makes it fray. So let's just go down this. Cut those little frays off. It's too small really. Okay, so we've got all our pieces ready again. And this is our basic white, 4.5 by 3.25. And I'm going to put it at this right hand side. And I've got 2 of the 1 by 3 inch papers. So I'm going to use these 2. I don't need that one. And let's just have a look. See if I can get something just a bit less busy than that one. Let's cut one of these papers. So I know they need to be 1 by 3. You liked this plaid on the bottom? Yeah. I haven't used that on anything else. I'd used the other side of it, and the other side is like this pattern. So I'd used that on one of the cards, but I hadn't used that plaid at all. Let's cut this down to 1. There we go. It looks just busy. Oh, I don't know though. What do you like? Do you like that diamond and the gingham and the candy cane? Or do you like the mistletoe as well? What do you prefer? So you tell me which 2 you'd like. Mistletoe, gingham or diamonds. I'll be gluing this one on while you decide. I'm just going to pop this on, give it a nice even border. Okay. And I'm going to need another white piece for inside. Let me just get that. And I've got another white piece for inside, and I've got a green piece for inside. So what should we do? Mistletoe. Okay, so mistletoe is 1. Which one do you want next? Janet likes the 2 greens together. Okay, this has got a very pale, it's almost like soft sea foam. So let's do those 2 then. Go back to what we had placed. Let's put that mistletoe on next. I wasn't sure if it was too busy, but I think the other one was maybe a bit light. Now, as you know, we can change that pattern around. You could even put the wider strip in the middle and, oh, that's not quite level, let me just move it, and have a narrow strip on either side of it. It's really very forgiving. Okay, I'm going to pop this onto the green, and then I'm going to put my twine round. Let's find some more twine. And we said about 14 inches. Oops. It is bright and happy, you're right. Bows are fiddly today. Not sure why. If I wasn't on camera, I would have been able to tie them really fast. But hey ho. Let's see how it works. Okay. I'm going to move that right to the edge though. Oh, let's make it a bit smaller. There we go. Because otherwise it didn't have any little tails. So I'm going to make it just that little bit smaller. And I'm going to glue this one flat onto the front. The last one we popped up on dimensionals. Let's put that there. And then let's find sentiment. So I think these might be a little bit big. Yeah, they're just a little bit big, aren't they? Unless I can move that along a bit more. Don't know about that one. Let's look at something else. Let's try this Season's Greetings. I don't think I've used that on many things yet. So the season's greetings is nice. I've made quite a few of these that say from our house to yours. These ones are too long. Let's try this. That's a little bit long on there. Any preference? I'm making you do a lot of work today, aren't I? I've got this little round joy one, or a Merry Christmas one. I'll start doing the inside while we're thinking. Okay. Let's put this on here, and let's cut another piece of that plaid that Janet liked. So it was a 3/4 inch piece, I think. Let's check our designer says paper pieces. Yeah, 3/4 by 4.5. Let's go this way and chop this down to 4.5. Merry Christmas looks good. Okay, and Jane likes the joy one on it. Okay, let's have a look. Pop that on. Actually, I quite like those circle ones, the sentiments. They're a bit different. I don't often use circles, but I do like that, and I like Merry Christmas. I could always put the Merry Christmas on the inside. Okay, I'll pop this one inside. There's so much choice in these sentiments. I don't know if there's... did you mean this joy instead? Oh, it's... let me find Merry Christmas down. Okay, I've gone back to Merry Christmas then. Like this. Right, so let's pop that on. I'm going to put it on with dimensionals, and I'm going to put it over the top of the twine like I did before, just to make sure that it holds that twine down, and I get some at the top of the twine and some adhesive at the bottom of the twine or underneath. Oh, I'm going to come just over here a little bit. Did you notice that this time I didn't take the backing off? I just left that sticker on there. Okay, let's pop those ones away. And you could put little embellishments on. You could put some gems on. I like that paper. I'm going to have to design something with that paper because that one is really eye-catching. Okay, so there's our 2 cards for today. And this is the card that I used for the class. So thank you for coming and joining me. And I will be here every Tuesday at 2, except next week we won't be home. So I can't do a live at 2, but otherwise Tuesdays at 2, and I've loved seeing you both, Janet and Jane. So nice to catch up, and I'll see you all again really soon. Take care everyone. Have a lovely afternoon.